session today is Virtual Environment Systems 2, and we have 5 presentations today. One of the presentations is anybody here from National Taiwan University today? Okay. So our second presenter would not be able to make it. I think I'll make another announcement as we go forward. But we have 4 presentations in this session. The session co-chair Mora could not make it to the conference, so I'll be proceeding the session. So let's invite our first presenter, Priyanshu Agarwal, and the topic of the paper is simulation-based design of exoskeletons using musculoskeletal analysis. And each presenter will have 15 to 18 minutes. I'll tell you 3 minutes at 15, I would say 3 minutes left. And then we'll have 2-3 minutes for questions and changing to the presentation.
Good morning everyone, my name is Priyanshu Agarwal and I will present my work on simulation-based design of exoskeletons using musculoskeletal analysis. I would like to acknowledge the co-authors Madhusudan Narayanan, Lengfeng Li and Dr. Venkat Krovi from Mechanical Engineering Department and Dr. Frank Mendel from the Department of Pathology and Anatomical Sciences. Now here is the agenda for our presentation. I will start with the motivation behind this work. I will move on to the design challenges involved in coming up with this simulation-based design. Then I will move on to the implementation details of our work. I will discuss the various case scenarios considered in this case study. And then finally, I will conclude with a summary and prospects for future work. Now, exoskeletons, which are essentially similar to orthoses, are mechanical devices that are human-like in structure, fit closely to the human body, and work according to the movement of the operator. As you can see, there are 2 common examples like Bleeks and Hell. I hope all of you must be aware of these 2 examples. Now there are 2 modes of operation in which these devices operate, assistive mode and the resistive mode. In the assistive mode, in which the device is known as exoskeleton, is used for capacity augmentation, whereas the resistive mode, in which the device is known as orthosis, is used for rehabilitation. In this work, our focus is on assistive mode. Now there are various design challenges, as I have already told you, that are involved in coming up with this simulation-based design. The first and the foremost is the kinematic compatibility. So as you can see that it is difficult to align these 2 joint axes, that is the exoskeleton joint axis and the human arm elbow joint axis, because of the imperfect nature of the human joints. Now this axis alignment is critical for the performance of the device. Past work shows use of mechanisms to carefully align these 2 axes. However, excessive misalignment of these 2 axes can also lead to hyperstaticity. Another important problem is dynamic matching. The device should not only match but also assist the human limb while the human limb is moving both in space and time. So physical human-robot interaction plays an important role for the design of such devices. Another major challenge is the lack of performance matrices to quantify the performance of this device. Further, there is also a lack of design and analysis tools for designing such wearable devices. Now to have a better understanding of the problem, here is a multi-dimensional view of the problem. Each axis represents a different facet of the problem. As you can see on the complexity axis, we have various levels of complexity. So we can incorporate a simplified musculoskeletal model with a simplified exoskeleton, or we can go to the complex musculoskeletal model with a detailed exoskeleton. In this work, we chose complex musculoskeletal model with a simplified exoskeleton. Also, there are various types of attachments that can be there between the device and the human limb. In this work, we choose revolute joint and a custom joint to make these 2, the exoskeleton and the human limb, compatible. Now here are the implementation details for our work. It requires an experiment for which all the case scenarios will be compared. It requires a musculoskeletal analysis software that will carry out our musculoskeletal analysis. It also requires a musculoskeletal model along with the exoskeleton model, and also requires some performance matrices to quantify the performance of the device. Now for the experiment, we choose arm curl with dumbbell as our activity with an arm flexion angle of 60 degree. We choose such a large arm flexion angle in order to understand how the muscles behave under variable loading. Now the simulation time for this study is considered to be 2 seconds, and that is like normal, and we have dumbbell load of 60 newtons. Now as you can see the various arm poses during this simulation. Now there are a few musculoskeletal analysis softwares that are available. We choose Any-Body Modeling System in this case because of the availability of human model library that is readily available in this software. Any-Body model basically consists of rigid segments, some muscles, these are the actuators that actuate these segments, some external forces and moments, joints connecting these segments, and drivers driving these joints. Typically, a musculoskeletal system is a redundant system because of the more number of actuators present in the system as compared to the degrees of freedom. This calls for a redundancy resolution technique to be employed in order to solve this problem. So, various muscle recruitment techniques exist. In this work, we use minimization of maximal muscle activity as the optimization objective. This is subjected to the equality constraint of the dynamics of the system and the non-negative muscle force constraint. For the simulation model, as I have already told you that we chose a complex musculoskeletal model. The model consists of 24 segments with 7 main segments, a complex muscle network of 138 muscles, a simple muscle model, that is the any muscle model, and this is a constant isometric strength model. Constant isometric strength means that the force that muscle will exert under static condition at its optimum length is constant. We chose a simplified exoskeleton model with 3 degrees of freedom. So as you can see in this figure, there is a revolute joint between ground and the upper link of the exoskeleton. There is again a revolute joint between the upper link and the lower link of the exoskeleton. And there is a linear joint between the lower link and the palm of the human. So you can see this lower link is realized as a virtual extensible link, and this actually resolves the hyperstaticity in our system. Traditionally, physiotherapists use certain criteria like Revomid, motor assessment score, or time to completion, etc. to evaluate the performance of the device. Musculoskeletal analysis provide various outputs like muscle forces, muscle activity, power to quantify the performance. Musculoskeletal analysis considers both the performance of the device as well as the wearer. So it is a better way of judging the performance, combined performance of the system. In this work, we choose individual muscle force and elbow flexion moment as the criteria, and we chose certain muscles to compare the various cases like biceps, triceps, brachialis, etc. Now here are the details of the case study we conducted. There are 4 cases in the case study. The first case, which is the arm curl with dumbbell case, this is the benchmark case for all other cases. The second case, in which a constant assistive moment is applied at the elbow joint. Now in practical sense, this is not feasible because we cannot apply moment directly at the elbow joint, but this case is